To call the regular meeting of the Franklin City School Board to order. The date is September 19th, 2024. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for being patient. Do we have a motion to come out of closed session?
This one right here. Whereas the Franklin City School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote, and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this school board. Am I doing the wrong one?
Yes.
I'm ahead.
A motion and a second.
I move that we come out of closed session.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
In the certification.
Motion carries. No.
Now I'll keep going. Do I need to start over, or can I just pick up?
I
think you should pick up. Pick up. Pick up or start over?
Start over.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Whereas the Franklin City School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote, and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas Section 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law, and now therefore be it resolved that the Franklin City School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification applies, and 2, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion for certification signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. Would you join me for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I think we have two motions from closed session. The first regards non-resident students. Do we have a motion to approve the 4 non-resident students as presented?
I move that we approve the 4 non-resident students as presented.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Do we have a motion to approve the personnel agenda as presented?
I move to approve the personnel agenda as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. That motion carries. Roll call. Ms. Davis, please.
Dr. Reed? I'm sorry, Dr. Harrison?
Here.
Dr. Scott?
Here.
Ms. Parker?
Here.
Ms. Boone?
Here.
Mr. Holt?
Here?
Ms. Council?
Here.
Ms. Hunt?
Here.
Dr. Carter?
Thank you. We're going to add something special right now. I'd like to ask Brittany Powell to come forward, and board members join me.
Are you gonna do that first before you approve the agenda?
That's okay.
Hey, he's the chair. You can do whatever you want. I guess we're going down there. I think, we're joining her, right? Are we joining? I think we're celebrating with them.
Okay. We're taking a picture. Come on, just follow down.
Brittany Powell was a board member and left us to take a promotion at Virginia State University. And we're very proud of her, and we're very
you all so much. It's been a privilege and honor to serve alongside all of you. I'm sorry to cry, but I want to dedicate this to my grandmother, Rebecca R. Banks, who always valued public education and always instilled in me to achieve and to go far and to always, as you rise, you lift others. So thank you all.
Okay, we have board meetings, some minutes, September 5th, first reading.
Approval of the agenda.
Oh, I missed it.
We're just all off today.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve our agenda?
A motion that we approve the agenda.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Now, our minutes. September 5th, first reading. August 15th, second reading. Do we have a motion to approve our minutes for August the 15th?
I move that we approve our minutes for August 15th.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. Dr. Carter.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Walters? Good evening again, Board.
Just a second, Dr. Walters. I'm going to have to come out of this sort of,
Yes, ma'am.
it's not presenting, it's doing motion.
Yes, ma'am. The Code of Virginia requires that each school board develop a written school crisis emergency management and medical emergency response plan and designate an emergency manager. This evening in closed session, I shared with you our division plan and each school's plan. I am identified as the emergency manager for Franklin City Public Schools. Huge thank you to the Department of Criminal Justice Services for providing a fillable template that our schools were able to utilize in documenting the specific steps that they will take in the event of a crisis. These plans were developed through the collaboration of many people at each school and across the division. Feedback was provided and applied to the plans that were shared with you this evening. And again, because of the sensitivity of the information that was shared, that's why that was shared with you in closed session. It is my recommendation that we adopt the division and each school crisis management plan.
The board has had a chance to look at this. Are there any questions for Dr. Walters? Do we have a motion to approve the school crisis management plan as presented?
I make a motion that we approve the crisis management plan as
Thank you,
Presented.
Dr. Scott. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you. The last piece that I'll share for the community's purpose is that part of our plan requires that we conduct drills that are specific in nature, and again, it's outlined what we are required to conduct. So for fire drills, we conduct one fire drill each week through the month of September, and then once monthly thereafter. We're required to have a lockdown drill within the first 20 days of school, and then again after the 60th day of school. Also, we are notifying families at least 24 hours in advance so that they have knowledge of and can help their child prepare for our lockdown drills. We also have the earthquake drill, and that we participate in the Great Southeastern Shakeout, and so that will be observed at 10/17 on 10/17. We also annually practice our tornado drill and a bus evacuation drill before the 90th day of school. So that is part of our plan, again, so that we can practice what we have in place. And I'd be happy to answer any questions about those drills if you have them.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, Ms. Morrison.
Good evening, School Board, Dr. Carter. I'm here to present three things to you this evening. The first is an audit update. Our audit is going very well. The school activity funds, we actually received the final report this week. There was minor recommendations listed, and in fact, the audit manager told me that there's been great improvement in all the school activity funds over the past couple of years. So that was very good news. As far as the district-wide financials, the auditors were on site September 9th, and they don't have any concerns so far, and I don't anticipate any concerns. The one hiccup we've had is we've had a bit of a delay in getting the financial reports out of the city system that relate to the school district, and I've been in contact with the city's finance personnel, and I believe that they are diligently working on getting us that information. I also have worked with our audit manager to ensure that they are okay with getting the information next week, and I think they're fine with that. We don't expect the report September 30th due to that minor delay. But the city's audit will then start after our audit, and they have until December 15th to get their CAFR in place. So there should be plenty of time. The second topic is I have budget amendments. Our title grants budgets have come in, and Title I, as you can see, came in $119,000 higher than what we anticipated. And most of my peers that I've spoken with have said that that has occurred statewide. So that was very good. This budget amendment is to increase the budget for that. The second budget amendment is for Title II. It came in at, well, one back. Title II came in at $616.52 above projection. Next slide. We did Title III at the last board meeting. Title IV came in at $1,922.27 higher, and Title V came in at $5,143.97 higher. So at this time, I would like to recommend that the board approve these four budget amendments as presented.
I move to approve these four budget amendments as presented.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
The third topic I have for you tonight is, if I could go back to my slides as well, is a first read of the proposed changes to the travel policy. All of the, if I could go back to the slide deck too. You can just leave that up. It surrounds the reimbursement for meals. All meals are reimbursable on a per day basis for travel outside of the traveler's base point. And our current travel policy is that our meals are reimbursed by receipt only up to the Government Services Administration per diem rates. So when we process our travel vouchers, we have to track down each and every receipt, make sure there's no additional fees on them, make sure that they're itemized, and then we reimburse limited to the GSA per diems. What we're proposing to do is move to the Commonwealth of Virginia's state travel policy, and that is to pay the traveler the GSA per diem without receipts. And we believe that the efficiencies gained from that will more than offset the minimal amount of money that we might lose doing that. We have very little general funded travel, so even though an individual traveler may receive more reimbursement from the per diems than they would from their receipts, we feel that that impact will be minimal, and we could highly streamline our accounts processes by streamlining the travel policy. So I present that to you tonight as a first read, and I'll come back at a future meeting and ask for a vote on that. Any questions on that?
What is the per diem? What would be the per diem rate?
If you could go back to the second slide deck. What you have hopefully in your packets is, go back to the other document if you would, please.
$65.
So come out of this one? and
Yes,
go to
ma'am.
The next one, the Commonwealth of Virginia topic?
Yes.
Okay.
So what you have here is, this is the Commonwealth of Virginia's travel policy as it relates to meal and incidentals. And if you scroll down through that read, at the end of that, I've listed right here, this is from the GSA website. Every year they put out per diem rates. So there's a standard rate that applies for any location that doesn't have a specified rate, and then Blacksburg, Charlottesville, DC, et cetera, are listed separately. So if I'm going to Richmond and I'm in the city of Richmond, I have a per diem of $80 per day, 20 for breakfast, 22 for lunch, and 33 for dinner, plus $5 for incidentals such as tips. And if it's the first or the last day of travel, it's prorated by 75%, and you would get $60 on your travel day. So these are the actual published rates from the federal government each year.
Any other questions? So we'll vote on this next time. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
That's pretty standard.
So, Mr. Holt, just before I turn it back over to you, I just want to let the board know in closed session, but for all in open session, we have been invited to participate in what we call the Tidewater Education Consortium, and it's composed of Norfolk State, Hampton University, Portsmouth, Franklin, Southampton, and Isle of Wight. And the consortium is going to focus on, it's a $9 million grant, and they're going to have a press conference. And so the next time that we meet, I'll have further details regarding when it's official and how much money we have been allocated for several programs. And so the programs that I've suggested were to go into for teacher professional development, capital improvement programs. It goes into the J.P. King Career and Technical Academy, the tutoring programs, our Pearson Center, technical needs for our students because our enrollment has increased, so we need to now buy laptops because so we can make sure that every student has use of a laptop. Grow our own programs, licensure and certification, and then we want to increase our early childhood education program. So we want to get the kids in even earlier because we also have a waiting list for children trying to get into Franklin City Public Schools at the pre-K level. So you'll hear more from me next board meeting.
Very exciting.
That's all I have, sir.
That's great. Thank you, Dr. Carter. I have a couple things for school board business. The first, we looked over quite a few numbers of policies last meeting, and just remind the board that we're going to vote on those at our next meeting, which I think is October 3rd. The second thing, attended a VSBA meeting in Chesterfield County today, and the main topic related to cell phones. And the state is advocating what they call bell-to-bell cell phone policies, which means when a kid comes into school, their phone goes off, the phone is put away, not even in their pocket. And that phone is off all day until they leave school at the end of the day. There was a lot of pushback on that. So our policy, I think, is probably going to be a little different than that. The second thing, some schools have reported kids are getting very inventive about hiding phones. One student in another school division took an old book and cut out the middle of it so he could put a cell phone inside the cutout of the book. Another student disguised his cell phone in a ham sandwich and put it in his lunch. So kids getting quite innovative on that. Board members, any other comments, questions?
Go ahead. Who's starting?
I was just gonna ask about the Mason tutoring. Are we doing that again this year?
Yes. Yes, we are.
And when does that start?
We have a meeting tomorrow. Is that correct? Ms. Tompkins, we have a meeting tomorrow to discuss particulars.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I just wanted to make a quick comment on what the big deal is that what Dr. Carter just mentioned at the very end here about this grant and this consortium that we've been invited to. I think that is a really, really big deal, and I'm very excited that we've been invited to participate in that, and thank you for the efforts that
And
you've made to
according
get
to
us
the
there.
consortium, her overall vision is just outside of Olive, just as we enter into Olive White, that abandoned strip mall that's just past the IP plant. She wants to work with me to turn that into a CTE regional center along with JP King. So it's ongoing. It's beyond the $9 million. The $9 million is just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to keep writing and keep writing until we build this up, and that we have a regional center that will be able to serve multiple counties, and so everybody wins.
That's awesome.
Anything else? Brittany, thank you again. Good to see you. We have a motion for adjournment.
Sure do.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Sure am.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We're adjourned.
I don't know what's wrong with y'all.